Previously on The Sims 4 Big Brother.
Level 7 of this Big Brother game brought on a whole new twist. You saw duos, but now it's time for trios. And to figure out how the groups are going to be divided, they took part in the Llama Llama HOH competition. Now, wherever the house guests sat, the color they chose was the team they ended up on. And one by one, the loser blue team started getting recruits, but so did the yellow team. Eventually, it came down to almost all boys, as one by one, all the house guests were sent to their corresponding groups. Eventually, though, it was down to our final 3 house guests. And when Angela chose the blue team, that completed our blue group, consisting of Zoe, Rashidah, and Angela. And the HOH came down to Mark and Akira. However, Akira won HOH and had safety for not only him, but the entire red team, consisting of Bob and Kaori. But now when it comes to nominations, Akira must choose either the yellow team or the blue team to face the block. And all 3 of them will be up on the block for Friday's eviction, but only one will be going home. And based on his relationship statuses, Akira chose the blue team to face the block. Now Zoe, Rashidah, and Angela all face eviction. Will Power of Veto save any of them, or will they all be doomed and one be voted out on Friday? Stay tuned, Big Brother! Hi all my beanie weenies, and welcome back to my channel. This is of course Sims Hot Dogs, and we are back for another installment of The Sims 4 Big Brother US Season 2. And when we last left off, we had just introduced the Trios twist, which ended up seeing a whole 3-people team face the block. Of course, the blue team is the one that ended up being on the block, and that consisted of Rashidah, Angela, and Zoe. Now we're catching up and seeing how they react to being nominated. Zoe seems to be going outside and trying to rekindle that friendship/romance she had going with Akira, but he seems to still be harboring a grudge against her and doesn't really want to let her back in.
Tip?
However, the conversation isn't really going as bad as I thought it would. It kind of really ended suddenly on bad terms whenever Zoe started hooking up with Mark, but it doesn't really look like that's his problem, more so with just the way that she had been treating him. So maybe with this little bit of attention that she's putting on him, maybe that'll smooth things over just a little bit. I feel like he just needed to be reminded of why he was friends with Zoe in the first place. But it seems to be getting a little bit frustrating for Zoe having to defend herself time and time again. And even when things go smoothly, they keep having hiccups that kind of push it back a little bit every time. It's very much, take 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Alright.
In the upstairs lounge, Knox and Mark are having a bit of shirtless, khaki short bro time together. I love that they have matching outfits on, if you can say that, lack of outfits. And it looks as though Knox is trying to ask the future cube some questions and seek some guidance of where he should be going in the future, but from the looks of it, he's not getting the answers he wanted. Meanwhile, I think the pressure of being HOH and that awkward conversation with Zoe has really made Akira get down in the dumps, and he has a little bit of a cry in the HOH bed. Back outside in the backyard, we see that, of course, Bob is in the gym, hitting that punching bag and staying to get fit and hot this summer. However, I think it is interesting to see Zoe over there working out as well, especially since she discovered that she hates working out, yet she still tries to do it every single day. I, however, am not that determined. I love that she's still like, I hate doing this, but you need to do it. Me, if I hate doing it, I'm not doing it. And then we see Angela hanging out by herself just playing a game of horseshoe, while inside the living room we see that Kaori is also having a bit of alone time with the book, but is soon interrupted by Mark. She quickly puts the book away, and we gather everyone outside because we're going to get things started with the Power of Veto competition. Now, I do have to warn you, the episodes coming up are all fairly short. Since we're getting closer and closer to the end game here, the episodes are going to be getting shorter and shorter as we need to get down to business. And this week's Power Veto competition is what everyone loves, the BBC. Oh yeah, the big black cube. Yeah, so this Power Veto is actually unique because everyone is going to be competing in it. All three teams are going to be going face to face to earn the Power of Veto. In this little competition area, you see we have the BBC, and each one is separated for the three teams, the yellow team, the red team, and the blue team. When I say go, all house guests will enter the big black cube, and inside there, horror awaits all of them. But which team will be able to outlast the rest? Whatever team is able to stay in the BBC the longest will win Power of Veto. Now inside, we see that there is no lights. It is pitch black in there. And we also have broken TVs, which Bob instantly starts to fix. But unfortunately for the house guest, there is, a shower, a toilet, and a sink, all of which are broken, and we see the Strangerville vines peeking out of them. So if they want to fix that, it's going to take a lot of courage, and I don't think many of them have that. Apart from Bob, who is working to repair his section, everyone else is kind of just freaking out, and Knox and Mark are actually kind of enjoying the time. They both start having a pillow fight, and they're trying to lighten the mood. Maybe the clown photos kind of put them in a joyful, happy mood, but for everyone else, not so much. And it looks as though Knox has finally discovered what's going on in the bathroom area. And Kaori is the first one to quit the competition. She is just not having it. And we see that Rashidah is also quitting. And there goes Angela. Alright, so far almost the entire blue team is completely out of the competition. But it seems as though the yellow team of Marks, Venessa, and Knox is staying strong. Surprisingly, talked a little bit too soon there. They all quit all at once. Wow, I was kind of rooting for them. They were the only ones to not have anyone exit, and then all of a sudden they all leave. We also seem to have missed Zoe's departure from the blue team, which means the blue and yellow team are completely out of the competition, and now we are down to our final two house guests, Bob and Akira. Well, who will win? And as we can see, the red team has one Power of Veto, but we still are going to wait to see which one exactly wins. And I love that Bob's strategy is just to fart and kind of make the place even more miserable for Akira. But inevitably, Akira does win Power of Veto, and this will help him when it comes to statistics and competition wins. However, he is not in the mood to celebrate right now as he storms out of the BBC, and we all return back to the house. Now, the red team has officially won the Power of Veto, and they have also won the HOH, so these three are dominating the game so far. But it is now time to see what they do with the Power of Veto. Potentially, they could replace the blue team with the yellow team and have them face the block, but it all is going to be determined by the relationships Akira has. And since he won HOH, I think it's safe to say that not much has changed since then. But we are still going to give a little look at his relationship statuses and see exactly what he's thinking about the blue team. If I can manage to get everyone to sit down. This little power veto ceremony has been the hardest ceremony I have had so far in the season. None of them are wanting to sit down. They're all angry. They're all in a bad mood. Instead of actually just sitting down and participating in the ceremony, they all want to get up and start arguing with one another. They're not all gathering over here. A lot of them are getting stopped by broken neon signs. They don't want to sit with their team members. They want to sit wherever they want to sit. It's just a complete mess. I mean, it takes this long just to get all of the house guests into the living room when finally Zoe manages to show up for the ceremony. But of course, I can't get them all to sit where they're supposed to sit. And I wanted to include this whole struggle to show you how difficult making this series really is. There's a lot to it. A lot of ceremonies, a lot of telling house guests what to do, and then trying to turn autonomy back on and hope that they get into something interesting. And plus, not to mention, we have a total of 35 episodes to make. It is a bit of a struggle, but I gotta say, Big Brother is my favorite to film, and so even though there is so much difficulty, I am really enjoying the series, and I hope you guys are too. So, while I mentioned that, of course I gotta mention to make sure you share, subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, all that kind of stuff below, because that's really what makes posting these videos worth it. I would be playing The Sims just like this regardless, but I love hearing what you guys have to say. Alright, so I think this is close enough. This is close we're gonna get. I can't manage to get them to all sit down, but whatever. We're good to go. And it seems as though I'm not the only one annoyed by this, as Akira is also pretty distraught. But, okay, so we have our two teams. Of course, the blue team consisting of Zoe, Angela, and Rashidah remain on the block, but has his opinions changed, and will he decide to replace them with the yellow team? Let's go ahead and take a peek. Alright, and it doesn't seem that that conversation he had with Zoe did any helping for the team, as he decides not to use the power of veto. So, unfortunately, Zoe, Angela, and Rashidah, the three of you remain on the block, and one of you will be voted out in the next episode. What did you guys think of the BBC? And what do you think about the blue team remaining on the block? Who are you rooting to stay? Or is there anyone that you're hoping goes? Let me know all of your opinions down below. And of course, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell, because I will be bringing a new episode to you on Friday where one of these lovely ladies is going to get voted out. And make sure you still have your chance to submit your Big Brother UK character, as the deadline is coming soon. And other than that, bye.